Hello, everyone. Welcome to episode number 56 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. My name's Gage, and I'm here with Dan, of course. Dan, how's your week been? How's it going?
Week's been good. Yeah, a lot of progress this week. How you doing?
I'm doing well myself. It's been a good week. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out with us. Invader Gaming, nice to see you here. Dean, it's always a pleasure.
Dean's pumped.
Jaden Suh. Sounds like we have someone from Liberia. That's pretty cool.
Cool.
Sounds like they're a fan of SY, using the green screen feature.
Ooh.
NLTMW, thanks for tuning in. It's nice of you guys. It's the Super Bowl tonight, so I appreciate you guys tuning in to us. I don't know. I think it's still live, so it's. I take it as a compliment. The people that are watching live tonight. Yeah, the StreamYard Football Edition.
Oh yeah.
I'll have to go back and check out some of the commercials. Those are always fun to see what some company spent $5 million on, and whether or not it was worth it for them.
Yeah.
So yeah, for I guess I forgot to do I was just a bit late. So for anyone new here, we do these StreamYard live town halls every Sunday at 6 p.m. Pacific, and we do it to make sure we're answering your questions and staying in tune with you guys and using the product. And we have 3 pillars of StreamYard that we always mention, which are ease of use, stability, and professional streams. So if you're about those 3 things, StreamYard is the tool for you. We have a few questions for you, and if you have any questions for us, let us know, and we'll do our best to get to them. First thing I wanted to mention was Ross Brand will be going live this week on Wednesday for StreamYard Connect, so make sure you tune into that. It'll be on the LinkedIn page, the Facebook page, and some of Ross's channels, so tune in there. I know last week I sort of alluded to it, but I actually have booked my tickets now, so I'll be at Social Media Marketing World. So if any of you guys want to meet and chat, I'd love to meet all of you. So let me know, and maybe we can have a conversation.
Cool.
Another announcement that I know Dave Brown will be excited about is he saw the poll, but yeah, and anyone who's not in the StreamYard community group, if you want to be part of some of the discussions that happen and some of the decisions that get made, sometimes we'll sort of go to that community group to ask people what they think about a particular feature and make changes on it. So we made a poll last week about a feature that one user was very vocal about, which we appreciate. And that is the way it works now. If you have a banner up and you show a comment and then hide that comment, it doesn't go back to the banner. And so the question was whether or not people want it to go back to the banner. I thought it would be pretty close 50-50, which is why I was sort of resistant to the change, but I was wrong. In the poll, I need to go back to look at the final results, but it was overwhelmingly people were a fan of Dave's idea. People want sticky banners. So we will most likely be adding an option for that. And again, if you guys aren't in the community group and want to contribute to questions like that, make sure you join it. You can just find it on Facebook. If you just in Facebook, the search bar at the top, just type in StreamYard Community, it should pop right up.
Yeah, very cool.
April, thanks for hanging out with us.
Well, we need to give a shout out to Dave when we release it.
Yes, we'll definitely give Dave a shout out. Jaden, it's just StreamYard Community. Does anyone in chat do intros? Yeah, we actually had a question tonight about intros. We'll get to that soon. PG is a fan of the product. We appreciate that. WWE, thanks for hanging out with us. Information Man Show is a fan of the green screen. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool seeing people use the new feature. I know some people, we're continuously optimizing it. So it works really well on certain computers. Like I'm shocked that some like Chromebooks work really well with it. Overall, it's quite good. There's certain models of systems that we are looking into to improve a bit. Like I know some of the MacBook Pros with Iris graphics, especially if someone's running 2 monitors off the same graphics, it can be a bit hard on the computer. So we're looking at optimizing it for all models of computers, especially the popular ones. But hopefully people are enjoying it.
Yeah, the fact that it just works in the browser, like we were thinking you'd have to download something, right? When we were first designing, like, okay, are we gonna have to make this into a desktop app just to get a green screen feature? But no, the fact that you can just run it is.
Yeah, as a cool one is definitely a cool one to develop, because it really was at the beginning. We didn't know if it was even possible to do in the browser, because we'd seen some things in the browser, but none of them worked particularly well. So we didn't know if we'd be able to pull it off in a way that was acceptable, and it was possible. So that was cool. Malcolm's a fan of the banners feature, and it's helped him get a show in the top 12 listings. Congrats, that's cool.
Very cool.
Malcolm's Middle Earth Media. Is that like Lord of the Rings stuff? That sounds cool. Steve Drive saying hello from Philadelphia. Hello. Gene, thanks for tuning in. Max says, I would like to know about Instagram on SY, please. So yeah, that comes up a lot. We should actually probably make a specific page for it or add it to the FAQ because people ask about it quite a bit. But Instagram Instagram does not have an official live, it's called an API, which basically just means a way for apps to stream to Instagram. It's possible for apps to do, but it's a breach of Instagram's policy, which is why we don't do it. It's possible for us to do, but we don't want to do anything Instagram doesn't want us to do, so we don't allow it. We're hoping that at some point Instagram will open up Instagram Live to apps, and when that happens, we will add it as soon as that is available. But right now, it's against their policy, so that's why we don't support that platform. I think we've covered most of the questions, so let's get to some of the questions we have for you. Hey, Dean, nice to see you here. Haven't seen your face in a while. All right, the next subject was, might not be super clear why we're asking this, but we're working on a few things that made us want to ask this question to you guys. Is what's the most difficult part of live streaming that you have now? Like, what are sort of your biggest struggles? Is it sort of like, is there any sort of technical things you find trouble? Is it hard to find the time to go live every week? Is it more of like growing your live stream that you find difficult? So what are your biggest sort of like gripes with live stream, I guess? What are your trials and tribulations? We're curious to hear them.
Yeah, I imagine, well, I'm sure there'll be a few. Like, my initial thought is that the biggest one is going to be how to get more viewers, right?
Yeah.
That's what everyone's doing. But yeah, I'm curious if there's some specific things you have that maybe we haven't thought of. Like some very specific thing that's like, oh, it sucks to have to share it out to Twitter every episode. It sucks to have to.
Yeah, I know that's actually come up in the past, some easier social sharing options for guests who want to share the stream out. So yeah, let us know. It's always useful to know the answer to that question. Dan had some questions about, or both of us, but Dan will do a better job phrasing it. So some questions about intro and outro videos. Do you want to explain that, Dan?
Yeah, so a few things here. First one is, as you guys know, for a while we've been talking about how we want to release longer form videos as well. So we have intro videos now in the overlays tab. They can be 30 seconds long, just short little clips. But we've always wanted to have something to have much longer videos where you can, scroll around and change where you are in the video, kind of like you're watching like a YouTube video, but it's on StreamYard and not necessarily a YouTube video. As part of that, I had a few specific questions. So one of them is, when you play an overlay video right now, so a little intro video, it'll mute all your mics. And that's just to prevent echo. Like, is that a problem? Is that something that, bugs you guys? How many of you guys need to actually be able to talk? If you had maybe during the intro, you don't need to talk now, but if you had a longer video, right? Maybe you're sharing a 5-minute video or something. Do you need to be able to talk during that? Or is it just, no, you're going to play the video and it's fine if your mic gets muted? So that's the first one. Is it good if your mic gets muted on longer videos? And the other one we're looking at is specifically for intro videos. Is the way we do it now, like, does it work well for you? Is there any things you prefer? Like, one thing we've considered is actually having maybe in the brand tab, like a separate section. So instead of playing videos in the overlays section, there'd be like another thing that's, hey, intro section. And then you upload your video there. And as soon as you go live, we automatically play the video for you. So you don't have to go in there and click it every time. And then maybe we even have like an image that gets uploaded with that. And it, when you start, it shows the image for a few seconds, then plays the intro on top of that, kind of like what we do at the start. Yeah. So I'm curious, would that be better? Or maybe some other thing you guys are thinking, but how much do you like how we do the intros now in the overlay tab? And is there any changes you'd like? So those are kind of the two questions. Is it a problem if longer videos mute your mics? And then is there a nicer way to do intro videos for you? Yeah.
I know, I don't mind the way we do intros, but yeah, definitely even for these town halls, sometimes it would be nice if it was more streamlined. So yeah, we're curious if you guys have that same thought as well. I know one of the biggest issues I run into is it's sort of annoying having to mute and unmute the mic while setting up the intro. So yeah, let us know if you think like a sort of custom section where you just have like an intro uploaded the same way, sort of like that we have the logo section, have like a bumper intro section. Let us know.
And the other one actually that we've considered, so instead of an intro section, is maybe combining it with the banners tab, because the banner people almost think of as like, here's the things I want to talk about during my show. So I could see maybe adding like images and videos into that. So you start off and the first thing is maybe an image you put up like we do at the start, the town hall image. Second one's the video, you play that. Then there's your 5 or 6 banners, then the outro video, and it's all in that one tab.
Yeah.
That's another one we've considered. I don't know if that's like too rigid, like maybe it works for some people, but it's not good for other people.
Yeah, hopefully people know what we're talking about. It's not the easiest thing to explain, but yeah, like sort of the way that banners can be nice for structuring your show so you see the points that you know you want to talk about. Is it maybe run of show would be a better, like, is there, like, would it be useful to have sort of like, now we have the brand section and overlays are kind of buried in there. So if you're making heavy use of them, it's sort of not super intuitive just because it's sort of tucked away and it's not, and you can't order them. So that's another thing that comes up is you guys ask for labels and whatnot. So this would sort of solve that problem as well. Like, do you find that you use the overlays enough that it would be nice to sort of have a separate section that was your sort of like media / run of show section where you could say like, okay, I'm going to play a video at this time, then I'm going to show this image, then I'm going to talk about this video and then show these 3 images. Like, would it be nice to have a way for you to sort of lay that out and sort it out and have your show organized that way? Or maybe like you said, Dan, were you suggesting like in the banners section as well, just all in the same, maybe you have them all in the same tab.
Rename it so it wouldn't be called banners anymore, but
yeah. So yeah, let us know what you guys would think of that. Dave, thanks for hanging out with us. I know you use intros, so hopefully you have an opinion. Casey, thanks for tuning in. Taper John says I have to participate more in the community. Sure, we certainly appreciate it. It's nice to. I had actually never, before StreamYard, I had never actually used Facebook groups, and I'm actually a huge fan of them just because it's such a nice way to sort of have a nice sort of line of communication with you guys, with our users, just to know what's going on. Because email is great, but people don't usually respond to like sort of a broadcast email, whereas a community group, people are talking all the time and people are on Facebook all the time. So it sort of pops up in your feed and you see what's going on, where an email, you might not really you might be more focused on just getting your emails done versus being part of the community. So I'm a fan of the group. Yeah.
It's a lot more many to many instead of like us just broadcasting out information like most companies will do too, right? You can actually interact with, like a lot of you guys see in the group, a lot of them questions are answered by other group members.
Yeah, awesome. I'm a big fan. Eddie, thanks for hanging out. Hey, Andrew, thanks for tuning in. I'm actually going to be going on Andrew's show relatively soon.
Cool.
Fringe, thanks so much. It's cool that you're upgrading. We certainly appreciate that. Tom's Comic Books and Reviews, thanks for tuning in. It's cool. There's a whole community of comic book folks that have been using StreamYard. I've been enjoying seeing that.
That's cool.
Sounds like Ken is multitasking. Well, we still, even if you're multitasking, we appreciate being at least part of your Sunday viewing. Eddie has some intro templates on his website. Yeah, for sure. Check that out. If you guys don't know what you want for an intro video, Eddie's got some great examples there. So check that out. Bender Boys says the green screen feature actually works pretty well. My only complaint is that you can't adjust the size of the background. So Bender, it's a 1280 by 720 image you can upload as the background. So I don't know if I'm fully understanding the question, but you could sort of customize it however you want by just changing the image you're uploading, unless I'm missing something. Do you understand?
I was thinking maybe he means that this, like the whole 16 by 9 size, like he wants to make the whole thing smaller, maybe like a square. I'm not sure though. I'm taking a guess on that one.
Yeah, let us know, Bender. Kiko is a fan. We appreciate that. GSHL, are we going to see more than 6 people on panel soon? I think you asked that one a lot, which you're not the only one. I know it's important to people, and it's on the roadmap. It's in our plans.
Yeah, it does pay to be persistent.
It keeps you top of mind.
We're getting there.
Yeah. Leonard, thanks for hanging out. Max says, thanks, Brazil here. We love SY. We love Brazil. There's lots of Brazilian folks using StreamYard, which is very cool. Dean said, we had one of our scheduled live streams delete itself on Facebook. Is that something we need to have a look at? So funny you mentioned that, Dean. There's actually an issue. It might have been too late that the alert went out for you to see it, but we had an alert up. There's an issue on Facebook in general. I'm guessing that was on Friday night. we're actually going to send an email to the people that were affected. So it's pretty rare that Facebook has issues, but every once in a while it does. So it's fixed now, Dean. So it's not something you need to look at, but yeah, sorry for the trouble there.
Yeah, there's all kinds of weirdness going on with groups where the main one was we couldn't schedule, or I should say we kind of could schedule. So when you try to create a post to a group from StreamYard, it would create it on Facebook, but Facebook would give us an error, so we couldn't actually get access to it. So you kind of have this broadcast sitting on Facebook now, but you can't use StreamYard for it. And then I do know a lot of people had trouble where they'd already scheduled one, and then when they went live, it had been deleted automatically by Facebook. So yeah, kind of unfortunate. I think it was like a 6-hour period where it was down. And
yeah, but it was a temporary thing, so it should all be good now. Miss Buffy struggled to do mobile without you guys. Hopefully we can add some more mobile options soon. I know it's an important one for people, especially because there's a decent amount of people now that they just 100% mobile. They don't even use desktop/laptop. So that is in our plans. Maju's a fan of Facebook Live for Maju Live Show. Appreciate that. See if we have any answers to some of our questions.
They're tough questions, but
watching from the Philippines. Oh, Dean says it was on Thursday. Maybe ping us on the page then, because I think unless I've got the day wrong. I thought it was
the day wrong.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Maybe it was Thursday, Dean. An email will go out, so we'll know then if I had the day right.
I could be wrong. Maybe it was Friday, but I think it was Thursday.
Maiden
afternoon. I guess that doesn't matter. Afternoon doesn't matter if you're not in our time zone.
Made in USA Foods and Beverages says, hello, Dan Gage from New Orleans. How many watts of light do you need for the green screen? I don't know the exact wattage. I imagine it probably depends on the other lighting you have in your room, but as long as it seems like a uniform lighting color, the best way is to experiment. Just look at the green screen, adjust your fade, and just see how you need the direction of the lighting and whatnot. But I don't have a wattage answer, but I think you can figure it out if you just test sort of the distance from the light to you and the positioning of the light. But it works pretty well. It doesn't need to be perfect. Like, I don't have perfect lighting, and I rarely have issues with.
You can get one nice benefit actually is of just being in front of a laptop is that the laptop, especially if you have multiple screens, can give off a lot of light. So that can kind of help as well. Like, one thing, if it's not quite bright enough and you have a second monitor, just pull up, Google. This big white monitor now, that adds a lot of light. I think it's specific wattage. I think I've got a 60 watt on the right, 60 watt on the left.
There you go. That's the answer. You want 60 watt. That's the perfect wattage.
Hopefully that works for you.
Dr. Mystical says, if you're persistent, maybe we can get the random comment picker soon. It definitely impacts us. If people want it, we generally will eventually get to it. And I know people have mentioned that one quite a bit. Invader Gaming, yes, I know that's important to people. Just trying to see if anyone had any feedback on our intro question.
And it's always useful to know, just to add to this comment, the 6 people live. We're always curious exactly how many. So we hear 10 sometimes. Some people only need 8. So we're always curious when you're asking that, like, what's the exact number?
Yeah, what's the number is it? Yeah, 8, 10, 100. It's good to know what you actually want.
Hopefully not that many, but
100 probably isn't happening. But it is, even if it's not happening, it's good to know if that is actually the number you're looking for, because we'll probably recommend figuring out a different solution. But
we won't be adding 100 anytime soon.
Yeah. Ken Wall says, what about having the intro video automatically start once the stream is live? So yeah, that was kind of the question. So we're considering just having the same way there's a logo upload, having an intro upload where you'd upload an intro video and a thumbnail for it. And then every time you hit go live, it would just play, and there'd be no fiddling with muting or any of that. So we're curious if that would be a welcome change, or if maybe you guys are fine with the way overlays are and you don't really want it changed.
Because one downside of that, it's easier in that you just upload it once and you're good to go. One downside is that maybe you're less likely to remember to change it before you go live. And then also some people don't want it to go right away, right? Like, maybe they talk for a minute, do a short little introduction, and then play it. Kind of like YouTube video style, right? You see a lot of the YouTube videos like, hey, I'm Dan, and this is going to be a video about blah, blah, blah. And then their intro goes. So that's
it's hard to say. Let us know. Yeah. Bonnie says, do people see a difference in audience numbers with Facebook as opposed to YouTube? I'm sure everyone's different. Everyone's channel is different. Personally, we actually have a much bigger YouTube viewership, but I think that's because we originally just did this on YouTube. It was before we had multi-streaming. We just went live to YouTube, so I imagine that had some effect.
Yeah. Yeah, it's highly dependent. Usually people will have one dominant platform most of the time.
Because yeah, usually the content you make is sometimes makes more sense on one versus the other. So that sort of will decide that. Casey says, for me, something to automate the beginning. It's frantic for me to do so many things and be calm and collected when it's time for me to start talking. That's very useful feedback. That's sort of how I feel about it. It's not too bad. It's just, it would be cleaner if it was just one button. So that's why it's my preference. But like Dan said, if there's anyone doing the YouTube style, we're curious to hear that as well.
Yeah, it's like our goal is always to make it like as easy as possible, but also give you, enough control that you can kind of do your own style.
Yeah. NLTMW says might be handy way to add 30-second or 1-minute commercials during your stream.
So I think that's maybe the one I was saying where the banners are on the right and then they're kind of.
Yes, yeah, sort of organize it that way.
I think I'm guessing on that one. Maybe let us know.
Dean says, still would really like the UI to be more live broadcast friendly, so you don't look like you're looking away from the camera. Yeah, hopefully at some point we can address I know, Dean, for you, the main thing you want is the ability for the layout buttons to be at the top so you're looking at the camera. One thing that hopefully will address it at some point is I know hotkeys is a popular request, so hopefully that happens soon, and when you have hotkeys, then you can sort of manage that and, look into the eyes of your viewership without having to, look away like I do all the time. Okay, cool. Clarissa says show run would be a great way to organize. That's cool feedback. Spectrum, thanks for tuning in. Andrew says, how can you record in the broadcast room without going live anywhere else? When you click create broadcast, there's the option to choose where you're going live to. And under that, there's something that says skip record only. And if you select that, you'll just be recording without going live. So that's the way to do that. Joe Ridgely says, longer videos. Muting mic is fine. Overlay would work at first, but we want to play some movie trailers to promote our guest's upcoming project and be able to speak over it. Much easier than navigating another tab. Good to know. Let's see what else yeah, Charlotte's looking for a smoother way to add the video.
And is that specifically for the intro, Charlotte, or just in general? Just the fact that it's in the overlay tab, I know, is a bit inconvenient sometimes.
Yeah. We're running out of time here, so I'll go back to our final questions in just a sec, just seeing if I missed any answers. Sounds like a lot of people are a fan of the intros idea. Thanks for the feedback, roasters. Oh, Dave likes it the way it is. Good to know. We probably wouldn't remove it, so you probably still have the people doing it the way they're doing it now wouldn't be affected. It would just be if you wanted to add the section.
Yeah.
Casey says he generally uses the screen share feature.
Yeah, for long form.
Eddie says he doesn't need to talk. That's, I think, referring to mute.
Did that all? yeah, just for the video is fine.
Okay, I think we covered most of them. All right, what was the last one we were at? Oh, yeah, we covered this mic muting versus video sharing. Most difficult part of live streaming. I don't think I saw too many answers on that, so let us know. The final topic we wanted to ask you about was MP3s. Do you want to ask that one, Dan? I don't remember exactly what we were asking there.
Yeah, so just the main question I had here is another one we've heard every now and then is I want the ability to share audio. So I'm curious, is it music or is it sound effects or something else I'm not thinking of? But what's the main use case? We want to make sure we design it for whatever the main thing is.
Yeah.
So
the one that I personally hear people asking for quite a bit is music, like for the sort of they want to just have a full screen image up and music playing for a while before they start. That's one common one. But I definitely do hear the sound effects requests, like the fake audience laughter or clapping and stuff, which I know can be kind of fun.
Yeah.
USA live streaming or USA live TV gadget and things says music. Good to know. Dust Mite's just a fan of them in general. Joe says 5-minute limit on video overlay would be ideal. So with the longer option, there won't even be a limit. So if you want to do a full screening of your screenplay that you have, you could do that.
Yeah, or if there was a limit, it would be like very, very large.
Yeah. Reef Girl, great to hear that you're enjoying the green screen feature.
And loves it.
Charlotte just means in general. Thanks for letting us know. MS Buffy says one button makes more sense. And that's about the intro videos. Ever play video audio in PowerPoint? That would solve all the production problems.
I've actually seen one of Dean's streams where he did that.
Oh yeah, like plays the video directly in the PowerPoint.
Yeah, it's not a bad way to do it.
Dean says, I'm not a fan of the muted mic when video plays since unmuting takes a while to come on after the video. Little lag time till the mic go live again. Just sitting there looking silly waiting for the mic to come back on. It's not super long, but long enough. Good to know.
Fair enough. But is that the only reason? If it's muted when it's playing, is that fine?
Spectrum, that is actually on our list because it does come up a lot, which is just, I think you're just asking the ability, instead of just having the host be large and other people small, sort of having the ability to shift people around in those slots, and that is on our roadmap. Charlotte says she would love an episode planning template. Good to know. Let's see if I missed anything here. Live stream TV gadget and things would like a gorgeous kitchen for the green screen defaults. Noted. It's an easy addition, you never know. Maybe we'll add it. Reef Girl says she is a fan of intros preloaded at the beginning. Good to know.
Cool.
April agrees with Eddie on the organizational updates. I'll have to go back and find that. Oh, here it is. Any organizational updates are always welcome. It would be cool to denote a video to autoplay right when you go live. Cool. Yeah, it sounds like people were a pretty big fan of that suggestion. Bonnie as well. All right, I think I've covered most of the questions here. If you guys have any final ones you want me to touch on, let me know. Otherwise, we'll wrap things up and let you catch the end of the Super Bowl if it's still going on. Hey, Tim, thanks for hanging out. I know you were there last year, Tim, so if you're at Social Media Marketing World, I'm actually going this year, so hopefully we can chat. It'd be cool to meet you. I think I've known you it's been over a year, so it'd be cool to finally meet you in person. Dean says any conversation about this was an older comment, so yeah, hotkeys hopefully address that, Dean. If they don't, let me know and we can discuss it further. Hey Tim, great to hear you have a new client. All right, I think we got all of it. Oh, thanks, Casey. Casey has a big write-up there. I'll make sure I read it after the stream to get to all of it. Most difficult thing for me is controlling slides while talking. I wish there was a way to control slides from SY. Last week I did a 5-day challenge and had 3 windows. It's a lot of juggling. I missed comments due to the other windows. You might actually be happy relatively soon because we're definitely thinking about that pain point. So I think that's all of it. This was episode number 56 of the StreamYard Live Town Hall. Thanks to all of you for tuning in. We really enjoy doing these, and we'll see you next week at the same time.
See everybody. Enjoy the Super Bowl.